Today I'm going to transform Minecraft items into mobs, and the first item that will become a mob will be the pumpkin. So I'm going to start by making the 4 legs. I'm going to create a flat square for this side. For this other side, and for the other sides, I'm also going to add a cube diagonally like this. Another one facing this side and another cube lying down. Now I'm going to do a square right here, and our mob's body is ready. Now we just need to make the head, and to make the head I'm going to create a much bigger cube up here. I'm going to make another one down here and add a square up here. And the 3D model of our mob is ready now. We just need to make the texture. To make the texture, I started by painting his entire body green. I added more details with dark green to make it really look with a pumpkin root. And here in the head, of course, I left it with the pumpkin texture. And the mob, it was really cool. Not to mention that this animation of him standing still was really cool. This other one of him walking, and this one of him attacking. Here in Minecraft, this mob looks really cool. Look at this man, you can see that it's a lot bigger than I thought. It's almost 3 blocks tall. But I want to see if this mob is strong. And that's why I made it this small arena for him to battle with this pillager. I have this tool in my hand that if I click on this mob here, and if I click on this other one, the two will start fighting. Calm down. I just need to click on this one, and that's it. Now, if I open this door, the two will start fighting. Look at this. Who will win? I think it's the my mob. Come on, attack this pillager, and the pumpkin mob won. The pillager couldn't even damage him. Since Mr. Pumpkinhead won, you deserve a reward, and that's why I'm going to make a habitat for him to live in. I started by building the size that this habitat will be. I think this size is fine. After that came the most boring part of all, which is digging the hole, since I'm going to make this habitat 2 blocks below the surface. Now I have to go looking for the blocks that I'm going to use to make this construction. The only block that I have in mind that I'm going to use will be the pumpkins, and that's why I'm flying, because I want to find some. Wow, look here there is a village ahead. Can I find any pumpkins inside the chest? Here's a bale of hay. Here's a villager. Let me see what's inside his house. Look, there's a chest. Yeah, but there's nothing, so I kept flying until I found a pillager outpost. There's even one here. Wait, let me see if there's more. There's another one here. I'm going to finish him off. Look, there's only 2 more. Here, I'm going to kill you. Here's one. Inside this tent, there are some pumpkins, and since I found the pumpkins at pillager outpost, the idea that I had to break all this construction and get the blocks to be able to make the habitat. To build this habitat, I started with the walls. I placed some pillars of dark oak wood and filled the walls with cobblestone so the mob wouldn't escape. I put some fences in the top, and I broke some grass blocks and replaced by podzol blocks. This will make the floor much more beautiful. To make this wall even more beautiful, I'm going to replace some cobblestone blocks with mossy cobblestone. Now I have to plow the land and plant some pumpkins. As decoration, I'm going to make this pole of light, and I just need to bring this mob inside. And finally, the habitat is ready. Man, he's very beautiful. The rating I give him is 8 out of 10. And for this mob that became even more beautiful, I give him 9 of 10. The next item that I'm going to transform into mob is going to be the candle. The first thing I have to do is this leg. I'm going to do the other one. Add a very large cube like this. Now I'm going to make a much smaller square up here, and I'm going to make this small detail here on the top of the head. The only thing I need to do is the right and left arm. To create its texture, it will be very simple. I will paint it all in this color. Now I will create a kind of gradient. I will start by painting it with a darker color. I have to paint it this way as if the candle was melting. I will do the same thing on the bottom. In this middle part, I'm going to paint with a much lighter color. I'm going to add some more details too. I created texture for the arm and also for the legs. And in this square that I made on top of the head, I will draw that small thread that is on top of the candles. This mob's face will be similar to the creepers. Now I just need to add a few more details, and the mob is finally ready. This one is the animation of him standing still. This other one is him walking, and this one is him attacking. Here is our sail mob in Minecraft. It looks really cool, man. Look at this. It looks really cute. I really liked how its shape turned out. It was the size of the player. I want to see if it is stronger than the pumpkin mob. Which of the two will win? Who are you rooting for? Comment below. Now the time has come to see who is stronger. I'm going to release this one, and I'm going to release this one. And look, the battle has just started. I'm rooting for the pumpkin mob. Come on. Let's see who will win. The battle is fine balanced, with both having the same amount of light. But once again, the pumpkin mob won, and this is what's left of our little candle. Since the Veil mob lost, I need to make a habitat for it to live in, as it won't be so safe for it to roam around the map. Unlike the previous habitat, this one I'm going to make a little bigger. It won't just be bigger in width, it will also be bigger in depth. That's why I dug 3 blocks instead of 2. And as I want to do with the theme, I'm going to need some sand. Let me see if there's anything in this chest here. This one has 60. There's only endstone here. If I'm not mistaken, in a few videos ago, I made a habitat with the theme of desert. It's right here. It even has some shulker boxes. Let me see if there's any sand. Unfortunately not. If I'm not mistaken, on this side, there is a building where I used a little sand to make concrete. In this shulker, there is a lot of sand. This amount that I got was enough for me to make the floor, and it was almost enough to make the wall. So that's why I had to go to a desert to get a lot of sandstone, since it would be very expensive to build with sand. Since I need 4 sands to make a block like this, after mining many blocks, I finally managed to finish the wall. Plus, I put some sandstone fences on top to make it more beautiful. As this habitat was very empty, the idea I had was to build a kind of temple to highlight this construction even more. I used some red sandstone, and to decorate it, I used some cobwebs to make it look like this construction is decorated. And after a lot of work, finally, the construction was ready. I think it turned out better than the previous one. Now I just need to bring the candle inside. And the rating I'm going to give for the construction is 9 out of 10. As this mob was very easy to make, I'm going to give it a rating 7 7 out of 10. Leave your rating below in the comments. The next item that I will transform into a mob will be the chest, and just like the previous ones, I will start by creating the mob with the leg like this. Do the other one, and for those who don't know, the chest is divided into 2 parts. The first is this bottom part here. The second is this top part, which is its lid. So first I'm going to do this bottom part. Now do the top part, which is the lid. Add this detail up here. This part of the chest that is open will be the mouth, and obviously a mouth needs teeth. So I'm going to create these top teeth. Do the other side. Do the front teeth. Now select all of this and duplicate it for the back part. Low. To finish, I'm going to do the right arm and the left. To make Mob's texture, it was very simple. I just copied the chest texture. I painted the teeth white. Now I just need to add some more details by painting the gums red, and I'm also going to paint this entire area red as if saliva was dripping from his mouth. I can't forget to do it on the top. To make it more beautiful, I'm going to do some more shading. I'm going to give some details to the teeth and now just paint his eye, duplicate it to the other side, and finally our mob is ready. I changed the paint on his mouth, which was previously red, to purple because it made it much more eye-catching. This is his animation standing still. This is him walking, and finally this is him attacking. He takes a bite, and this is how the mob made from chests looked like here in Minecraft, man. It was very beautiful without a shadow of a doubt. This is my favorite mob. Now I need to see if he is as strong as this one, since so far the pumpkin mob is undefeated. So comment below who you are rooting for and let the battle begin. You have to let go of this and go mob of chest. You will lose. And once again, the mob made of pumpkin won. Since the mob of chest lost, I'm going to make a habitat for it. Like the others, I'm going to start by marking the size of this habitat, and in addition, I need to dig the hole where I'm going to make this construction, since the person who will live in this habitat is a chest mob. I'm flying away because I need to find a forest, since I'm going to have to get a lot of wood to make the construction. The idea is this. I'm going to make the entire floor with oak planks. With this tool I have, I can get other variants of oak planks. I chose this board because look, when I break the floor and add some of them, it looks like the board is old. But doing this was not easy. I had to repeat the same process across the entire floor. With this same tool, I can exchange oak planks for this wood. This block I will use to make some pillars. I finished the wall with these other boards. So the mob wouldn't escape, I put some fences on top of the wall. The habitat was very simple, and that's why I made some decorations. I used some trunks, and on the floor I put some carpets. And look how the end result turned out, man. The rating I give for this habitat was really good. It's 8 out of 10, and for this mob, I'm going to give it 9.5. The next item that will become a mob will be the Ender Eye. It will become a really cool mob. So to start, I will create this cube here that will be the eye. The idea I had is to make a flying eye. And of course, for this eye to fly, it will need 2 wings. So I'm going to start by making a small piece of it here, do the rest. I separated this into 2 pieces because here there will be a joint. This will allow the wing to move like this, but it's not a wing if it doesn't have feathers. So every little square like this is going to be a shame. I know this isn't pretty at all, but it's going to be cool. It was a lot of work to make the wing. So the smart thing to do is to select everything and duplicate it on the other side. I'll adjust it here and it's perfect. To make the texture of this mob, it will be very simple so far. I just need to copy the texture of Ender Eye. I will make the top part similar to Ender Eye without the eye, and it will look like this. Just duplicate this texture from the top to the other sides. I'm going to create a second skin over this eye. I want it to look like an ender pearl. Now just duplicate it on the other sides. This top part of the wing I'm going to paint with a very dark color, and for feathers I'm going to make a gradient. After a lot of work, this is what our Ender Eye mob looked like. Man, it looks really cool. The Ender Eye mob has become much more beautiful here in Minecraft. I want to see if it will beat the pumpkin mob, since the pumpkin mob has won 3 rounds so far, so let the battle begin. Oh my god, what is that? Come on, come on, who will win? The mob is too high, so he won't be able to fight. He went down. It seems that the Ender Eye mob doesn't want to fight. He keeps running away. Oh no, he's running away from the arena. Now he's much higher. Now he's gone down. He went down. Oh, you know what? You lost. Get out. And once again, the pumpkin mob won. But this time it was because the enemy fled the battle arena. But anyway, I need to make a habitat for the Ender Eye mob. Just like the other constructions, this one was no different. I started by making the construction's frame and then dug the ground. Since this mob is Ender Eye, there's nothing better than building a habitat that resembles the end. If I'm not mistaken, this chest should have a lot of end stone. I'm going to get it all. I'm going to make the entire floor with that same block. I was going to build the wall with the obsidian block, but that would take a lot of work to collect all this. And that's why I decided to build it with a basalt block. Inside, I planted some chorus fruit, and as decoration, I used some obsidian blocks. After a lot of work, the habitat was finally ready, and the rating I give it is 8 out of 10. And in my opinion, this mob looks very beautiful, and that's why I'm going to give it an 8.5. The last item that I will transform into a mob will be the hay bale. So I start by making it with the leg. I will add several other squares here at the foot. You will now understand why I did this. Select this and duplicate it. Add this cube to be the chest. Now make the right arm, make some details at the top and also at the bottom. I'm going to select all of this and duplicate it. Now just make the head. The 3D part of the mob is ready. Since this is a wheat mob, I made this texture based on the hay bale block. The only thing I have to do is these little red lines. I'm going to do it on the head too, do it on the chest, and the only thing left is to draw his face, so I'm going to paint it brown like this. It has to look good strange since he looks much more like a scarecrow. I'm going to make both eyes red, and to finish, I did the shading. This one is his animation standing still. This other one is him walking, and this other one is him attacking. The mob looks really good. Here in Minecraft, Minecraft, the hay mob looks really nice, man. Just look at all his details. It really looks like he's a mob made by Mojang, but he's going to have to beat the pumpkin mob, which until then is undefeated. Lost a battle, so I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to select this other one and let the battle begin. My God, who will win? Who are you rooting for? That this turns into the pumpkin mob. Otherwise, you're going to lose. Come on, go wheat mob. That the wheat mob beat the pumpkin mob. So that means this is the strongest mob of all, and that's why I'm going to build the best habitat for him. I think of all the habitats, this will be the smallest of all, so it was very easy to dig the hole where I'm going to build it. This time I started by building the walls, and as the theme of this will be farm, the walls I made with mud bricks, and I mixed it with some packed mud. I put dirt in the part that needed it, and after that, I cultivated this entire area. Since the land is fertile, I planted a lot of wheat and used some hay bales to make the decoration. As I was in a hurry, I decided to use bone meal to grow this plantation faster, and despite being simple, the rating I give for this habitat is 7 out of 10, and for this mob, the rating I give is 9 out of 10. If you liked this video, take the opportunity to watch this other one that is appearing on the screen. I chose 5 different Minecraft blocks, and today I'm going to turn each of them into mobs. The first block that I will transform into a mob will be the Stonecutter. The idea I had is to transform this into a kind of iron golem. So I'm going to start by creating the first leg. I'm going to create the second. I'm going to make a bigger cube to be the belly, the other much bigger to be the chest. It will practically shape like an iron golem. Now I'm going to make his arm, and you can see that it's made of wood. Now I'm going to create another arm, and in his hand there will be a saw to make the head. It's very simple. Just create a cube of this size and make the nose. The Stonecutter golem model is ready. This is his animation when he's standing still. This other animation is him walking, and this other one is him attacking. This was really good. The coolest thing about it is that the disc actually spins, unlike the Stonecutter from Minecraft. The only place I can find the Stonecutter golem is inside this new village that was generated here in my world. It is totally different from the standard Minecraft villages. So you can see there is even a castle here. Wait, can I find him here? Let me see. Apparently this is a prison, okay? There's a ladder that goes up. He probably won't be in here since there's no way for him to get up here. Maybe if I climb a roof like that, I can find the golem, little golem. Where are you? Look, he's right here. Look at this. He attacked me, bro. He doesn't want anyone to invade this village. It could be that this is an evolution of the iron golem. Even though I have the netherite armor he took all my life, the only way to get rid of him will be to fight. But although he is very stupid because he can attack me, but he got stuck in that block. No, no, calm down, calm down. I'm going to fly away. The most peaceful iron golem. You don't even need to attack him for him to attack you back, but at least I managed to defeat him. And as a reward, I got a Stonecutter. Just like I've done with all the mobs I've created, I'm going to create a habitat for it, but there's a problem. I ended up with the only golem that was in this village. What's up, villager? Tell me, where can I find another golem? Oh no, they didn't answer me. So I'm going to do that strategy of flying away to unload the chunks from this village, and as soon as I return, another golem will probably spawn. Now I just need to find another one. So far, none have appeared. Look, one appeared, I'll tie the bow to it. But I'm going to have a little problem taking him from the village to the zoo, since he's an aggressive mob and takes a lot of life. After a long time, I finally managed to lock him here, and it's time to build his habitat. And to build the habitat, I'm going to need some spruce log. Thankfully, there are several trees on this mountain, so I'm going to get a lot of spruce log. I've already got enough. Now I have to go home. No, 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 no! I have to get out of here. Calm down. Break it. If I didn't have this shovel, I would probably freeze to death. I also mined a lot of stone because that's one of the materials I'll use the most. The idea I had was to build the habitat in the shape of this Stonecutter. So that's why I'm going to place 4 pieces of wood here in this corner. Place some stone block, and now add more wood. I'm going to place this wood here to find the center of the construction, and I made the complete square with stone block and adding the wood in the corner. Where there are these wooden markings, I will climb a pillar 6 blocks high. And besides, I'm going to have to peel them all to make it look more like Stonecutter. I'm going to connect the 4 pillars using wood, and I'm also going to peel all of them. Now I have to break this marking that I made out of stone because this is where I'm going to make the wall. And contrary to what I was thinking, I'm going to use polished andesite to build this. Then build the other walls. The one in front I'm going to leave open to make it look prettier. I broke some random blocks and replaced them with stone, which left a very nice effect. Now I'm going to break all these grass blocks, and I'm going to replace them with spruce planks. I'm going to use some slabs to make the roof, but unfortunately they weren't enough. I need to get andesite. That's why I had to go to a cave to get a lot of andesite. Now I can make a lot of slab and finish the roof. I also took the opportunity to make some decorations inside the habitat. For example, this pile of cobblestone and this other pile of deep slate. To give the finishing touch, I'm going to put the Stonecutter here, and now just bring the Stonecutter golem inside the habitat. Come here, golem. Now I'm going to close this place with a fence. I was already forgetting to make the saw that is on the top of the Stonecutter. To do this, I will need white blocks. I have diorite. Let me see if I have more in this chest. I have calcite blocks. These blocks were enough for me to build the saw. Now the habitat is ready, and it looks very beautiful. The rating I give it is 8 out of 10, and for mob it is 8.5. I'm in this village because the next block that I'm going to transform into a mob will be the bell. And the question that remains is, how am I going to transform this into a mob, bro? This will probably be my biggest challenge. I'm going to start by making the mob at the base of the bell, which will be this cube. Now create the top part of the bell. I'm going to create a cube a little smaller and the other even smaller. Now I have the base of the mob, which is the bell. In the Minecraft bell block, you can see that there are 2 stone columns. And at the top, there's a piece of wood holding the bell in these columns. So I have to create this wood on a much larger scale. The stone column will be his arm, double it to the other side. I can already see that it looks very similar to the Minecraft bell. But as this is a mob, I need to do his legs, now make his head, his snout, one ear, and the other. Now the bell mob is ready. This animation of him standing still, this other is of him walking, and this other is of him attacking. It was really good, and you can already see that the bell that was here is no longer there. It has become mob, which is it. He's running after me. No, don't attack me. Isn't he Pacific? He takes a lot of life. Yeah, I'm going to have to kill him with my sword. Look how cool he is. He looks like a pig with the body of a bell and arms made of stone. Bell mob has come to an end, and just like the previous mob, this one dropped its block. Now the question is, can I summon another mob? I'm going to put the bell in that place. Now I'm going to fly away, and when I come back, the block is gone and the mob has been summoned. That's good. I tied the bow to him and I have to take him to the zoo. The problem is that these berries cause a lot of damage and I'm almost dying. I have to be very careful with it. Can I take him flying? No, the noose broke. The only way to do it is to pull him to the ground. No, I hit him by accident. Please don't die. No, don't kill me. I need to get this lasso. Now I'm going to lasso him again and I'm going to have to pull him to the other side of the mountain because that's where the zoo is. I arrived at the zoo and I'm going to trap him in this fence. And now, Mr. Bellbody, I'm going to build your house where you will live for the rest of your life. Before starting to build, the first thing I did was make the frame where I want his habitat to be. Where are these stones? I want to make a cobblestone wall. Let me see if there's cobblestone in this chest. Oh no, it only has mossy cobblestone. This other one only has 1 stack and 14, so I'm going to fly to this side because there are some mountains here. This is the perfect place for me to mine a lot of cobblestone. But for this to be easier, I need to set up my pyramid with a flare. Now just place the flare here at the top, activate haste, and spend a few more minutes collecting stone. Thankfully, this was pretty easy since I have a netherite pickaxe and a beacon. Now that I have the cobblestone, I'm going to replace all these stones, and I'm going to build the wall around the habitat. You can see that I made them all irregular. This will make the habitat much more beautiful. In this part where there is a hole, I will make a small lake. I just need to make an infinite water fountain and put water in the corner of the wall. To continue building the habitat, I had to fly to a very far place. I did this because I need to find the dark forest biome because there are dark oak trees there since most of the construction I will do with this board. I had to stop here at the portal because I need this block of gold, and you'll understand why. I found the right biome. Now I need to get a lot of this wood. I'm going to use most of this wood to make fences, and with them I'm going to decorate the top part of the wall, and the rest of the wood I'm going to use to make this village house. Since Bell Mob has to feel at home, and as he came from a village, nothing better than building a small village for him to live in. However, the houses in this village will not be simple. The wall will be made of gold, and that's why I stopped to get a gold block from the portal. And after building another house and some decorations, I need to get the Bell Mob in here. Calm down, I need to put the fence back up. Good, and finally the habitat was ready. This is one of my favorite habitats, and the rating I give it is 9 out of 10, and for the mob, it is 10 out of 10. The next block that I will transform into a mob will be the blast furnace. I start by making the furnace mob from the leg, and his leg will be small. Now I duplicate it, and to make his body, there isn't much of a secret. It will literally be a furnace. However, it will be a different furnace, since I will have to create all the sides of it. So this will be the back part, this will be the front part, and on the other side. You can see that we have half a furnace, but I need to add a few more details, like this one here that will add charm to our mob. Since this is a furnace, I'm going to make fire on the inside, and to make it more beautiful, I'm going to put it on the other sides. Little by little, the furnace mob is taking shape. Now I'm going to make the side of the top, make the another for the back, and this will be the front. Don't worry, you just need to close the top and add the 2 eyes. Mob's model is ready. This is his animation standing still, and it looks really cute. This is the animation of him walking, and this other one here is of him jumping. You'll already know why I did that. And to summon the furnace mob is very simple. I just place the blast furnace here, and when I place the carved pumpkin, look at this. Summon the blast furnace mob. It looks very beautiful, and unlike other mobs, this is a peaceful mob. It won't attack you. You can even hit it, and nothing will happen. Okay, but then this mob has become quite boring since it has no function. Quite the contrary. Its function is very cool. I entered this cave to get some ores. I'm going to get some copper ore. I'm going to collect some iron. I'm going to do the same thing with gold. I already have all the ores in hand, and when I click on this mob with the ore in hand, look at this. It will be melted automatically. I can do this with iron. All of this turned into iron bars, copper. This also works with these ore blocks, and I can even get some wood, and when I click on it, all of this will turn into charcoal. Without a doubt, this is one of the best mobs I've ever made. This works for any item that can be baked in the furnace. Cobblestone turns into stone, and I can turn stone into smooth stone. Now, Mr. Furnace, I'm going to have to lasso you, trap you in this fence, because now I'm going to create a new home for you. And just like I did with the Stonecutter Golem habitat, the idea I had to build this habitat is to build a giant furnace. And to build this, I will need smooth stone. Great, here there is more than one stack. This amount of block will be enough for me to mark the scale of the habitat. Each pixel of the texture will be a block. And after making the frame on the ground, it was time to make the pillars. But unfortunately, there was no block. Good thing I have a lot of stone here in the chests, and I'm going to use the mob function to roast all these stones. Look, when I click on the stones, it instantly turns into Stonecutter. Seriously, this is the best mob ever. After spending a few minutes making the furnace frame, I just realized that this is going to be a lot bigger than I thought. And to make the side of the furnace, I will divide it into two parts. The first is this part below, and I have to decide which block I'm going to use. In my opinion, the block that looks the most like this is stone. So I made all the sides with stone blocks, and then I broke some blocks and replaced it with stone bricks. For this darker part of the furnace, I'm undecided. I don't know whether to use a tough block or a deep slate block. To resolve this doubt, I made one wall with deep slate and the other with tough block. In my opinion, the tough block is the most beautiful one, but I have a problem. All the tough blocks I have are not enough. So that's why I spent a few minutes collecting enough tough blocks, and the amount I took it and used it to make the rest of the walls and the ceiling. What cannot be missed is this detail of the furnace. Thankfully, it was very simple to replicate this. Now I have to decorate the inside of the furnace, and for that I had to break the grass floor. I made a deep slate bridge that crosses the room. To make the decoration more beautiful, I covered the entire wall and ceiling with deep slate blocks, and I also built an altar where the mob goes to stay. I had to come to this cave to get a lot of lava, because I'm going to have to put lava in these two parts where there is land. This will be like two pools of lava. Now just bring the mob in here, loosen the loop. I'm going to put some furnaces here to make it happier, and finally the habitat is ready. The rating I give for this build is 7 out of 10, and for mob it will be 10 out of 10. The next block that I will transform into a mob will be the observer. I'm going to start by creating mob observer's head so you can get an idea of what he's going to look like. This cube I'm creating will be the chest. Now I'm going to make the left leg and the right leg. I'm really liking how this mob is turning out. Calm down. Now that I stopped to look at it from here, it looks a lot more like Among Us. It looks really good. But unlike Among Us, this one will have arms. He will be holding a redstone torch in his hand. Now select this and duplicate it. This one is the animation of him standing still. This one is him walking, and this other one is him attacking. He's going to throw you up. The mob observer doesn't have such a special function. Its only function is to attack you and disrupt your game. Unlike the furnace mob, which has a special function, this one here will only attack you. But despite that, he is very cute. Look at his head. He is an observer, but you can see that he is evil since his eye is red. Furthermore, he is holding 2 redstone torch, and this will probably make his attack much stronger. Calm down. I'm going to have to kill this mob. But despite that, it's a very weak mob since I managed to finish it off with just 1 hit. The question that remains is, how am I going to summon another one? It's actually quite simple. I'm going to put an observer here, a torch on this side, and another one here, and now another one has been born. I'm going to hook him to this loop and tie him to the fence. Now I need to build a habitat for him. To build the habitat, I had to come here to the cave, since I'm going to need some blocks. The problem is that it's full of mobs here. Get out of here, zombie! Get out of here, skeleton! Here, good one! Oh no, there's a horde of skeletons here, but that's okay. I'm going to finish them all off. So I managed to defeat them. Good thing I'm a professional Minecraft player. The block I will need to build the habitat will be deep slate, but there won't be a few, and that's why I spent a few minutes digging this hole. The problem is that these blocks are more difficult to break than stone. Now I'm going to have to transform all these deep slate into this block. I'm going to take the opportunity to make a habitat frame. This part was the hardest as I had to dig a hole inside this square. After having dug the hole, it was time to make the walls. This was quite easy as I got enough blocks to build this. To make the floor, I used slab to save blocks. Of course, this habitat cannot be left empty. I need to make some decorations, and to make these decorations, I used some redstone blocks and also some dark glass. I really liked how this decoration turned out. It looks like there are some power cables coming out of the wall. To make it more technological, I'm going to put in some redstone lamp. I'm also going to put in some piston and some observers. After having done that, I'm going to have to break these blocks and replace them with wall. Mob Observer, this is your new home. This was very beautiful. The rating I give for the habitat is 8 out of 10, and for mob it is 7 out of 10. And the last block that I will transform into a mob will be the Enchanting Table. So I'm going to start by creating a cube with the shape of the Enchanting Table. Now I'm going to create the cover of the book. This will be the leaves, make the back of the cover, add the teeth of the book, select all of this, and duplicate it for the upside. The texture of this book was very good. Basically, the book will be our mob's mouth, and as he needs to see his enemy, I created an eye. I will also make an eyebrow and select that and duplicate it. duplicated. This is very good, but you can see that the enchanting table is floating. This doesn't make any sense, so that's why I'm going to create 2 wings for it. The first wing is ready now. Select this and duplicate it. In the texture of the enchanting table in Minecraft, you can see that there is a piece of cloth sticking out of the table, and that is what I'm going to create. Now select and duplicate it. Finally, I finished making the model. This is his animation standing still. This one is him flying, and this other one is him attacking. This looks really good. And here in front of me is Mob. Look how cool he is. He has an angry face. He can attack you and take half a heart of life with each attack. The time has come to battle him. Calm down. He makes an XP noise when I hit him. Good. I'm done with him. I don't know if you noticed, but he enchanted my sword with Fortune 3. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe this is his function. He will enchant any item in his hand. I'm going to give him a few blows with the sword. Now I'm going to try to kill him with stick. It's not possible. My Minecraft crashed, so the only way will be to trap this mob here and start creating its habitat. And I've already started making the frame of where the habitat will be. Unlike the others, this one will be the biggest habitat of all. After completing the whole frame, the hardest part of all came, which was digging. Even though I had the best shovel and the best pickaxe, it took a long time for me to finish this. The good part is that I got a lot of cobblestone and dirt, which I can use in other constructions. I'll even store all of this inside the chest. Now that I've dug the habitat hole, I can start building, but this time I'm going to do the floor first, and the idea I had is to make it all out of oak log. But all my oak logs are gone, so that's why I have it took a lot. And of course, to save money, I did the floor with slab. I'm here in a stronghold because I want to find those abandoned libraries, since I want to make the habitat wall with bookshelves. So I broke all the bookshelves in the first room, and since that amount of bookshelf wasn't going to be enough, I took all the bookshelves in the second library. To save the bookshelves, I decided to make some pillars with stripped oak log, and then I went back to filling the empty spaces with the bookshelf. There was a little left, so I'm going to make some decorations and also the fence to protect the habitat. Now I have to bring Mob in here. Perfect. I'm going to release him, and I'm going to fly. Now close this with oak fence. And the habitat is finally ready. The rating I give for it is 7 out of 10, and for Mob it is 10 out of 10. If you like this video, take the opportunity to click on the one that appears here on the screen, and I'm sure you'll like it. Today, I'm going to transform the Minecraft mobs into dinosaurs, and the first mob I'll transform will be a sheep. I'll turn this sheep into a Velociraptor. Let's start by working on the Velociraptor's foot. Now I need to create the beginning of its leg, and I made this cube somewhat diagonal. Now I'll make another one a bit larger like this. On top of that, I'll add a slightly bigger cube to form the rest of the leg. I think this looks great. Now I need to repeat the same process on the other side, creating a leg, another piece like this, and another one this way. We have both legs. And now it's time to work on the body. I'll make a slightly larger cube for the body, which I think is the perfect size. On one side, I'll make the chest and head, while the other side will be for the tail. Since the tail is easier to create, let's start with it. It's simple, just a series of smaller cubes, one after the other. Our Velociraptor is taking shape. Now I need to work on the chest. I'll create a cube like this and another one turned diagonally. Here, I'll start forming the neck, adding parts for the head, the bottom of the snout, and the top. The Velociraptor doesn't have arms, so I'll create a cube for that purpose. Now let's add another cube here, which will represent its tiny hands. I'll repeat the same process on the other side to create the other hand. The model and texturing look great, but what's even cooler are the animations. One where the Velociraptor is standing still, and another one where it's walking. Before bringing the Velociraptor to our zoo, I need to create its habitat. We can't let it roam freely as it might harm the other animals in the zoo. So I'm collecting some blocks of polished andesite, which I find perfect for construction. After gathering enough andesite, I found a suitable spot to build the habitat. Since the Velociraptor is small, the habitat doesn't need to be too big. I'm going to dig a hole for the construction. Now, I'll use the polished andesite blocks to decorate the walls, alternating with regular andesite to make it more visually appealing. I'll also add some dripstone blocks for decoration, giving it a unique touch. Now that I've decorated the walls, I need to add a glass panel to prevent the dinosaur from escaping. It may not make much sense, but using iron bars would obstruct the view from the outside. To make sure the Velociraptor can't jump over the wall, I'll increase its height by adding one more block. The Velociraptor's habitat is now ready. I had to come to the savanna biome to find the Velociraptor, and here it is right in front of me, guys. It's quite small. Let's see if it runs fast. Well, at least I found a pair of them. Wait, is its head tilted? Maybe I'm going crazy. These are their new home, so they should stay there. I'll close it up and it's done. I'm quite pleased with the new habitat I built for them, and I'd rate it 9 out of 10. Please comment below and let me know your rating. The next mob I'll transform will be the horse, turning it into a Brosaurus, the dinosaur with the long neck. So I start by making the leg of this dinosaur. This will be the toes, and I'll make a larger cube for the rest of the leg. This is how the front leg looks like. The back leg will be slightly different, so I had to make a slightly smaller cube. Just like I did with the front leg, I'll add the toes, and then I'll complete the rest of the leg. Now I have to repeat all of this on the other side, starting with the front leg, adding the little toes, and completing the leg. The back leg will be the same process, completing it with the toes. Now all 4 legs are done. Next, I need to create the body. For that, I'll make a giant cube. This size should be perfect. This part will be the neck. Since it's a tall tall dinosaur, the neck needs to be very long. Before continuing with the neck, I'll make a cube for the belly, and now I'll create the neck. This size looks good. Now, I'll make the head, and it also has a small detail on top. I'll shape the bottom of the snout and complete it with the top part. The model is practically finished. The only thing left to do is its tail. So, I'll make a cube like this, then another smaller one, and gradually decrease their size, creating this shape. I put a lot of effort into it, and this is the closest I could get it to look like the dinosaur. This is the animation of the dinosaur standing still, and this is its walking animation. I'm quite happy with it. Let me know if you liked it too. I also took the opportunity to create a frame for its habitat. I'll do the same thing I did with the Velociraptor's habitat, breaking the ground but deeper, considering this dinosaur is much larger than the other one. Now, I need to build the walls for this whole area. To do that, I'll have to go to the Nether to gather plenty of basalt blocks. I think it would look great to add some decorations with these bone blocks. This amount of bones should be enough. Now, I have to remove all the stones around the outline to start building the basalt wall. I made 2 pillars because I plan to have a glass wall in the front. And on this side, I'll add some pillars like this, which I think will look nice, resembling the beginning of a volcano from afar. The bottom part of the wall didn't take much time, but the top part was quite challenging. Inside, I'll build a fossil, and here I'll create a bone. Don't think it's over yet because I need to get some sand. I'll use it for decorating the floor. To make it look better, I added some dry bushes and used a lot of tall grass with bone meal. Now, I'll build the glass wall, and don't worry, the Brontosaurus won't escape from this habitat. Finding this dinosaur was easy since it spawned near the zoo. Now, I'll bring them inside the habitat, and it looks like this. I'd give it an 8 out of 10, so let me know what you think about it. The next mob I'm going to transform will be the horse, turning it into a Triceratops. As you already know, I'll start with its leg. Add 2 claws and create a cube diagonally. This is how the leg will look like. Now I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Add the claws and finish the leg. The back leg will be slightly different, so I had to do this here. Now I'll create a cube diagonally and make the other one slightly bigger like this. To add the final touch, add the claws and repeat all of this on the other side. Next, create a cube facing the other way. This is the foot, and add the claws. For the torso, I'll make a giant cube. Now for the belly part, I'll make it a bit larger and create another one for this side. To make it easier to understand, I'll create the head, and I'll also add this little detail it has. Now I'll create the upper part of the snout and then the bottom. The Triceratops has a horn on top of its head and another one on the tip of its snout. So create the one on the tip of the snout and now make the one on the head. To add some extra detail, I also added some bone details, and I think it looks perfect like this. For the tail, everyone knows what I'll do. I'll just make it thinner and the model is ready. It turned out very beautiful, not to mention that the texturing looks great. I kept the animation like this with it walking. It may be simple, but I really liked it. Now I'm flying towards this cave because there's plenty of diorite blocks here, and I'll use them to create the habitat for the Triceratops. Another block I'll need is calcite, and for those who don't know, it's this white block. Luckily, I left some of these in the chest, and there are other blocks like this smooth basalt. I want to make the habitat exactly in this place, but there's a small problem. I'll have to do it very close to the other one, so I'll even put some blocks like this. I spent a few minutes digging, and it was a bit more challenging because I made this hole deeper. I already broke all the walls, so now I can fill it with diorite. I left the wall with gaps so that I can fill it all with calcite blocks. From above, it looks like a salt mine. To solve that, I'll replace the floor blocks with podzol, and that's why I'm here in the jungle to get some of these blocks. For the floor, I alternated between coarse dirt and podzol, and I really liked the result. But as you can see, it lacks some greenery, so I collected plenty of bamboo, and it will serve to enclose this habitat. Of course, I'll add a fence. Inside, I'll plant this mangrove tree, and I'll plant another one right here. I'll place some bushes on the ground. Wait, what? I can't place bushes on the ground? Okay, then I'll add some bamboo. Since I can't use bone meal on the ground, I'll spread some bushes around. I'll also add some leaves to make it a bit greener. In the taiga biome, I find the Triceratops. Look at what a beautiful mob it is, but let's capture it and take it to its habitat. Okay, bring the 2 inside, release the leash, and the Triceratops habitat is ready. In my opinion, this is one of the most beautiful habitats I've made, and I'd give it a rating of 9.5. I'm flying in search of a mob that I'm going to transform, and I think I already found one. It's going to be a chicken, but this chicken will turn into my favorite dinosaur, the T-Rex. I'm going to make the T-Rex model more detailed because it's my favorite dinosaur. I've already worked on its paw, and now I'll start making the leg. This dinosaur is going to be gigantic. Let's make one part of the leg, another larger piece, and here it will be much bigger. Take a look at the size of this leg. It's almost 3 blocks tall. It took some effort to make this leg, but luckily the second one will be much easier. Add one toe, another toe, wait, I forgot the middle one, and add the claws. Create a section of the leg, another turn forward, one upwards, and this larger piece. To make the body, I'll have to create this big cube, and I'll make another cube down here for the belly. Craft a part of the tail, make another smaller cube, and even a smaller one. Now, we have half of its body done. What's left is the chest and head. So, I'll create a cube turned diagonally. Before I forget, I also need to make the arm. Form a cube facing forward and another facing downwards, then repeat on the other side. One forward and the other downward. This cube will be the neck, and now I can start working on the head. Create the upper part of the snout. This will be the teeth, and add a detail for the eyebrow. Now just duplicate it to the other side. I need to make the bottom part of the T-Rex's head, so add another cube, and this will be the teeth with a small detail here on the side. And finally, our T-Rex is ready. The model turned out perfect, and the texture looks incredibly realistic. realistic. If you liked all this, I'm sure you'll enjoy this animation of it standing still and another one of it walking. Look at that! It closes its mouth, runs, and even moves its tail. I'm in a biome with many eucalyptus trees to gather plenty of wood. I can tell you, I collected a lot of wood, almost turning this biome into a plain. To save time, I've already made the hole where their habitat will be. I've also built all the walls here. Let me check if I have some sand in this chest. Oh, I have only 50, but no worries. I'm here in the desert precisely to gather as much sand as possible, as I need to create a sand floor. To make it look better, I'll mix it with some dirt, and now I'll build a stone with dripstone, just like before. I also constructed a dinosaur head, or at least that's what it was supposed to be. Seriously, it looks terrible, but it's all about perspective, because with some decorations, the habitat will look much better. But before showing you the final result, I had to come here to the desert to get my T-Rexes. Look at these beautiful dinosaurs. Obviously, in real life, they were much larger. I have a couple now, and they need a house, but the only problem is that I think this habitat is too small for them. Let me release them here. Perfect. It's a good thing they are peaceful, because otherwise, that cow over there would have been their meal. I really like the habitat and the model. I give it a 10 out of 10. Leave your rating in the comments, and also check out the video that's appearing on the screen.